Hey, if you are dealing with lower back pain, you are in the right place. I'm going to share with you today 3 steps so you can learn to help yourself. Make sure you stay till the end of the video because each of these steps, they play off of each other. If you are new to this channel, I am Dr. Nate and I am a physical therapist. This channel is dedicated to helping you overcome pain, live well, and, well, this is it's actually 3 things, and get strong. Let's do this thing. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you can get notified every time new content comes out. It's going to be coming out frequently, so make sure you get on that. Number 1, specific exercise, specific movement. So bending forwards, bending backwards, rotation, and side-to-side movements. So testing these things in a seated position, in a standing position, and sometimes on your back, on your belly. So I'm going to show some of those different movements, and I want you to, if you're able to, do some of them, see how you feel, okay? I want you to record how you feel with those guys, okay? Just to let you know, this is not medical advice, this is just education related, and I'm just gonna show you all the typical movement screen that I take people through to determine which direction they are comfortable moving. So first thing, typically I'll do these in a seated position, so I'm gonna just show you in standing for the sake of time, but the first one is just literally bending forward. So I'm just bending forward, and it doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't matter if the feet are completely together, the legs don't even have to be completely straight. I just want to see how people bend, right? And the main thing with the bending forward is to see, okay, did that feel good? Did that feel terrible? Were you just so afraid to even do that you didn't do it? That's something to document. So if that movement was painful, or you know that it would be painful, then I would start that in a seated position and see how you do with that. The second thing is bending backwards. So I'm literally just here, bending backwards, just like so, right? So this one, again, some people will feel good with this one, some people will feel not so good with this one, and the idea, again, is to determine, is bending backwards the movement that your body wants to go in or the one that is trying to avoid? Now, both of those could have also been uncomfortable for you, so that's okay. Just go ahead and document that also. The next thing is just rotation. So you can do this a couple different ways. You can be here, and it's okay that your hips are twisting too. Just the main thing is that you want to try to get as much rotation through your back as possible. It's a little bit easier and better to do this if you're in a seated position because your hips are fixed onto the seat. So you can also do it like this and try to keep your hips forward. I'm turning a little bit, but essentially that again is to see which movement is most comfortable. So just document that also. Did it feel the same, better, or worse? And then the next one is just side bending. How about that? Side bending, right? So this one feels pretty good. This one may or may not be comfortable for you. Again, just document from all of those different movements if it made your symptoms the same, better, or worse. If you found a movement that made it better, awesome. That's something that you can start to do immediately. If you found one that makes it worse, and the more you did it, the worse it became, then okay, like that's maybe the one that you avoid at first. So those different movements are just a screening tool to see which direction we should go. Number 2, it's hard. Oh, it looks backwards. Number 2 is general conditioning. So a lot of times when people are dealing with back pain, it's hard to do the things that you were normally doing. So even if you were active, a lot of times back pain can be so severe that it just completely puts you on your butt and you're just not able to do a lot of the exercise that you were doing. So what we want to do is, in addition to the specific exercises that we just went through and you found which ones were comfortable and which ones were not, now we need to find a way to still work on your general strength and your general conditioning. So aerobically and anaerobically, meaning just strength-based stuff. That means that finding a type of exercise that you can do that doesn't aggravate symptoms too much. And the tips that I usually give people are, make sure you're choosing something, whether it's walking or cycling or swimming or lifting weights, or there's lots of different ways to lift weights, but choose something that you can do that either decreases the pain or stays the same. If you're doing something and it makes things worse over time, then we want to adjust that. There's so many options that we can choose from. Like I said before, I mean, you can choose different types of weightlifting, whether you're using machines or free weights. You can use, you could just go walking. Oftentimes that's really comfortable for people. You know, there's just so many different types of movement that you can do. So in addition to the specific exercise that we went through, I'm going to show you some general movements that you can also do to kind of get yourself moving a little bit. And again, put this through the lens of, does this make it worse if I do more of it? Or does it make it feel better if I do more of it? Or is it about the same? If it's the same or it makes it better, cool, we're on the right track. If it makes it worse, then stop. You don't need to do that. So I'm not trying to hurt you, and you don't want to hurt yourself. And I mean, let me qualify that. By hurt yourself, I don't mean you're going to like permanently damage yourself, but again, like take those two things. I'm just rambling now. All right, so now it is time for the general conditioning side of things. So just a couple different movements. I don't want to make this video 500 minutes long, so I'm just going to show you some squats and some lunges. Squats and lunges, and then you can add in walking, cycling, swimming, and any other type of gym workout that you're doing. I'm going to have a lot more videos going into much more depth of different workouts that you can do. So first things first, squatting. I usually hold my hands like so. You can put them out like this. I just hold them like this. And my feet are about, they're shoulder width apart. Actually, they're probably wider. And you'll notice that my toes are also turned out a bit. So contrary to popular belief, you do not need to squat, and nor is that advantageous to squat with your feet forward like so. So just like this, turned out just a little bit, pushing the butt back and squatting down. So I'll show you again, just like this. So I push my butt back like so, okay? So just like that, nice and simple. So everyone has a different ability level, right? Everyone has a different fitness level, and some people that doesn't feel good because they have other issues going on. But just adding squats into your daily routine, or not even daily routine, but I would say 2 to 3 times a week, even if you did like 3 sets of 12, 15, 20 reps, that can be really beneficial. The next thing, if you can do it, are lunges. So I just have a lot of people doing lunges as their general conditioning program. So just lunging forward and back, right? Just like so. And then from the side, go here again, right? So trying to keep that heel, the front foot heel on the ground. You do enough of these, you will get tired. Can add some weight to it as well. So those are just some ideas of some general conditioning type things, super simple. Again, like this video was mainly about just giving you a summary of those things, but let me know what you think about that. Number 3, we got 1, 2, and 3 pound dumbbells. Number 3, you have to understand your pain. So this is a crucial component to recovery from back pain. Now, I see a lot of people, and most of the time, the primary complaint sorry, not complaint. The primary concern is that they're going to make it worse, that they don't want this to get worse because it's already kind of bad. And it makes sense, right? Like, we don't want to do things that are, like we talked about before, that are going to make things worse and that we're not comfortable with. So the main thing is we need to have an understanding of our pain. So first off, understanding whether it is dangerous or not, right? So the way that I define dangerous is this something that requires immediate surgery or immediate medical intervention? So is it like an infection or something, or is it more muscular or nerve related, or there's a little bit of a disc issue? Like those things, most of the time, most back pain can get better without surgery or injections or a ton of medication. So just know that in most cases, it can get better without it by doing a combination of these specific exercises, 2, general conditioning, so just getting into better shape and choosing exercise that you can do without aggravating symptoms too much, and then 3, this really deep understanding that, okay, it hurts, but I'm going to be okay. Like, I'm going to be okay. I've worked with so many different people, and the ones who have a more positive and optimistic outlook on their how well they can improve are typically the ones who do really well. The people who believe that their body is broken, the people who believe that there's nothing that can be done for them, those are the individuals, unfortunately, who have a much harder time recovering. And it's not to say that you can't move from feeling like there's no hope to developing hope, but just know that a lot of times people just have not gotten proper care for their back pain. They're just told to ice it or rest or go for a walk, and they didn't have a proper evaluation to show them, like, okay, hey, here's a specific exercise that you should do, like here's the direction that makes it feel better, here's how you should be conditioning yourself to get yourself in better shape, and then, hey, like, if you do those things, it's going to take X amount of time and you're going to feel better. I don't understand why it's so hard for healthcare providers to share that information with people. But I have worked with hundreds of people who have had back pain, and no, I have not been able to help everybody, but most of the time, people do make progress, even if they'd had back pain for a long time. And some of that was even due to just self-limiting beliefs. I'm just kind of rambling now, but those self-limiting beliefs can be so detrimental, it just stops us from even doing any sort of conditioning, any sort of specific exercise, and then things just kind of snowball and get worse from there. So in summary, number 1, specific movements. So determining which direction your body wants to move, essentially. So which one feels good, which one feels bad, and adjusting it from there. Number 2, general conditioning. So just getting stronger, just getting in better shape. Those 2 things are super important. And then 3, getting a deeper understanding of your pain. So, what are the causes? Do the causes matter? Is this serious? Is this dangerous? And if it's not dangerous, which most times it's not, you will likely make progress with a specific movement plan and general conditioning with that understanding that things are going to be okay. What have you all done for your back pain so far? I'd love to hear what different strategies you all have used. Just go ahead and leave a comment below. Make sure to subscribe, and I will catch y'all later.